All right, welcome everyone to another Radio Free Cybertron review. I'm your host, Diecast, and this review is actually brought to you by Brian Gilby. Why? Because no one else sponsors us, so why not? Um, Today we have something that I don't think many people have seen so far. We have the new Transformers 2015 RID Wave 1 Warrior class figures, which are basically the RID deluxes. They are a little bit more simplistic in their design. This is Grimlock, of course. Um, Sorry about the glare there. And Grimlock looks pretty good in robot mode. Uh, Definitely a simpler transformation on the back here. I'll actually bring the camera up a little bit. You can see that they actually have the instructions on the back of the package, and this guy transforms in 10 steps. So what I'm going to do, since this is new packaging, new everything, I'm going to bring in a Transformers Age of Extinction Scorn in package. It was what I had laying around just to compare the two. And what you can see is they were also advertising the steps to transform on the Age of Extinction packaging, but this was 19 steps, and of course you still had the insert, which had the instructions in it, or the instructions sheet, I should say, as opposed to on the back of the box now. This gives parents an easy, a better way to look at it and be like, oh, my kid can definitely transform this. The instructions are on the back of the box. So I think it's a good move. So far, I think the figures look fairly decent for the amount of steps that they have, uh, but I haven't opened any of them yet either. Just to compare the packaging a little bit, they are about the same height and they are about the same width. If I actually stack it on top of each other, you can see the plastic bubble comes out about the same, but they are considerably more narrow. As you can see right here, it saves probably about a half an inch, if not a little bit more. So when you first see them, like, oh my god, these boxes are a lot smaller, but they're actually not too much smaller than what we've been getting. So that was the first thing I had to check as soon as I got these out of the box. I lucked out. I was online at the right time, and someone posted that they went on sale on Amazon.com, and I jumped on Amazon, and they were $16.99, which I believe was a little bit more than the suggested retail price on these. I believe the suggested retail price is $14.99 or possibly $15.99. The new Generations Deluxes are actually MSRP or SRP, suggested retail price, at that $16.99 price point. But I just was excited to get these figures and actually be able to do a review out of them and to be able to get them out before most people got their hands on them, so you guys could check them out. So what I want to do is I'll pause the video, I'll get him out of package, and we'll do some comparison shots. All right, so here is Grimlock out of package, and he is actually pretty nice. Turn him around, not too many hollow parts. I mean, a little bit here on the center of the waist, but not too bad. Not too much kibble. He has good articulation. At the arms, he can do a full 360. They can only go out about that far. They can bend up almost, not quite 45. No waist swivel. They do have the universal leg joint forward and back. the upper thigh swivel, and then he can bend his knee back about less than a 45. Everything feels tight. Feels pretty good. His head is looks like it might go up and down, but really, you can get a little bit of movement in the head, but it's very, very small. I think my finger's in the way too. That's about all you can get on the head right there. Not very much. Not very much at all. And then it does rotate from side to side. So, for size comparison, let's get the size comparisons done right away. Here he is with Bumblebee. And they match up pretty good. I actually thought Grimlock was going to be bigger, but actually at the head it looks like Bumblebee is taller just because Grimlock kind of slouches over. Bring in some other figures for size comparison. Here he is with Deluxe Drift, Movie Drift, and they're actually lining up right about the same size. I actually thought these Warrior figures were going to be smaller. There he is with Starscream. And Starscream is a little bit bigger. He looks a lot bigger in the video, especially because of his wings and his arms. So he is definitely, I wouldn't even say a whole head. He's a little bit less than a head taller. Here he is with a Masterpiece figure. And the size really isn't bad on these guys. From what they were telling us, there are no Voyager size figures slated for this line as of yet, but they do have those. Instead of one step changers, they kind of got rid of the one step changers and they changed them to a 3-step changer, which I think is a good move. Bumblebee, stand up. Bumblebee doesn't want to stand up. But I think that's a good move. And so if you want a bigger figure, you can look into those 3-step changers. Not that they're probably very good, but they're better than the 1-step changers that we got with the movie line. Wow. I just transformed Grimlock for the first time. And I can say, even though he's only 10 steps, he is a very satisfying transformation. I just have Voyager Brainstorm in my head right now because I was playing around with Voyager Brainstorm last night, and that transformation is junk compared to this. It's only 10 steps, but there's a lot of neat stuff with this guy going on. So let's get to the transformation, and real quick, I'll point out I did miss there is a upper an elbow or swivel. So there's that, because that was actually the last part of transformation. I was like, there's no way to get his leg flipped around, and then I saw the mushroom cap inside the arm to allow for the arm to swivel. So also on the legs right here, you'll see that there's a tail actually molded in. That does not flip out. That's just to make it a little bit more symmetrical. Even though there's holes on this side, at least it's an attempt to do something with that empty space, because this is the tail that flips out right there. So to get into transformation, the first thing the instructions tell you to do on the back of the box is we're going to come up to the top and flip his head, his dinosaur head, over, which is kind of cool. He has a little peg on the top, that way you can open and close his mouth. And then the next thing on the transformation is to come down here and pull apart the legs. And they just untab and they kind of dangle there. Kind of reminds me of Kronos, how the third party Kronos just had those dangling parts. But that's what these leg pieces do, is they just dangle there. And then you want to come around and flip out the tail. And then you want to start pegging this all together. Pegging the legs together. And you come up here, and these two panels that are flopping around, you want to peg them together as well. I think his arm's in the way a little bit. Just like so. And then when you do that, now that's going to allow you to tilt the body back. There's a tilt. And you can push the feet forward to cover the hole in his back. Just like that. And now you got to take care of these arms. So what you're going to do is you're going to pull apart the arms because they're tabbed in, and then rotate his dinosaur arms out and up so they're kind of out of the way. And then these arms come all the way down and they peg in the back right here. Right there, the arm section is actually going to come in and peg. And this is how you know you have the back lined up. So that just pegged in. Now we'll come around and do the other side. And that pegged in. And now all you have to do is come down to what are now the feet, which were the hands. Flip the hand in and rotate the foot around. Flip it in, rotate it around. And now you have Grimlock in his dinosaur mode. And he's actually really nice. There's not a lot of gaps on him. He looks excellent in both robot and dinosaur mode. And he's an easy yet satisfying transformation, which I'm actually really shocked that I like this guy this much, because I really didn't think I was going to like any of these waves from the RID line. But this is actually, it's a transformation that I can remember how to do, and I could probably go back once I transform it once and be able to transform this thing over and over again and not have to look at the instructions if I haven't transformed it in a long time. Definitely awesome. And let's try and get some size comparisons with him. Because he's a dinosaur, I don't know that I'm going to have too many good examples or anything actually in dinosaur mode. So I am going to do the reviews of the other three of his wave mates, which of course is Bumblebee, Steeljaw, and Strongarm. And Strongarm is actually the female Autobot, and she is a police car. But she is like a jacked up police car. She's not your average female Autobot character that's real skinny and feminine. So definitely check those reviews out, because what I'll do is I'll bring him in for size comparison in those reviews.